Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron James are two of the greatest basketball players of all time. They're both statistical marvels and have insane accomplishments as well. Even though LeBron said he has no relationship with Kareem, the two greats share an insane achievement. If you want to know what it is, look no further than we're looking at exactly that in this video. Starting off, what's the crazy feat that both athletes have achieved? LeBron and Abdul-Jabbar are the only players in NBA history to be in the top 10 in 3 of the major stat categories. Isn't that incredible? The longevity of both players is a major reason why they found themselves in this position, and we're sure they're super proud of themselves. Being included in 3 of the top lists is simply incredible. Making any top 10 all-time list is a huge accomplishment. Next up, what's the first category? Yeah, you guessed it. It's the all-time points list. As of October 21, 2022, Kareem's at the top of the list with a jaw-dropping 38,387 points across 1,560 games, giving him a career average of 24.6 points per game. Abdul-Jabbar got 31,674 of his points from 2-point field goals and 6,712 from free throws. The remaining 3 points came from his only 3-point field goal. His elite scoring ability allowed him to earn 2 consecutive scoring titles in 1971 and 1972. LeBron's currently second on that list with a whopping 37,113 points in just 1,368 games. So James has an even better average than Kareem with a terrific 27.1 points per game. LeBron scored 27,124 of his points from 2-point field goals, 6,435 points from beyond the arc, and 7,844 from the charity stripe. Much like Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron was able to lead the league in scoring when he averaged 30 a game back in 2008. It's only a matter of time before LeBron surpasses Kareem for number 1 on this list. Moving on, let's talk about the second category for each player. Kareem's third in the all-time rebounds list, as he secured an impressive total of 17,440 rebounds across the 1,560 games he played in 20 seasons. His outstanding rebounding allowed him to secure a rebounding title back in 1976 when he averaged almost 17 boards a game. In his 6 seasons with the Bucks, he averaged 15.3 rebounds per game, and during his 14 seasons with the Lakers, he averaged 9.4 for a combined average of 11.2 rebounds across 20 years. LeBron isn't that high on the rebounds list, but he's in the top 10 for the most assists of all time, which isn't a surprise given his elite playmaking. James has 10,059 assists across 1,368 games he's played so far, giving him a career average of 7.3 assists per game. He even led the league in assists in 2020 as he dished out 10.2 dimes a game. Coming up, let's look at the third major category for Kareem and James. When it comes to blocking shots, there were few better than Kareem, as he's third on that list as well, with 3,189 blocks, giving him a career average of 2 blocks per game. Plus, he led the league in blocks 4 times. While James is an elite shot blocker, he's not in the top 10, but it doesn't mean his defense isn't great, as he's 10th on the steal list. James has stolen the ball a total of 2,137 times for a career average of 1.56 steals a game. Now, let's look at 10 NBA records that'll probably never be broken. First up, we have the record for the most rebounds at number 10. The record holder's none other than Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. Wilt was so good that it seemed as if he came from another planet. He's number 1 on the all-time rebounding list with a phenomenal 23,924 rebounds, which he secured in just 14 seasons. Chamberlain averaged 22.9 rebounds for his career, won 11 rebounding titles, and in all but 2 of his seasons, he grabbed 1,500 or more boards. The only person who was close to matching Chamberlain's numbers was Bill Russell, but there isn't a single active player who is even close to his rebounding totals. In fact, the only active player in the top 10 is Dwight Howard, who's behind Wilt by 9,297 boards. Next up, we have the highest rebounding average in a season at number 9. Unsurprisingly, this record also belongs to Chamberlain, as he averaged an unbelievable 27.2 boards per game back in the 1961 season. The crazy part's that he's also the second and third on this list, with an average of 27 boards in 1960 and 25.7 rebounds in 1962. Talk about sheer dominance. Russell was the only player who came close to these numbers, but besides him, there still hasn't been a single big man to average such monstrous numbers. From active players, Giannis has the highest average of 12, which looks measly compared to Wilt's record. Moving on, we have the most blocks of all time at number 8. Hakeem Olajuwon's number 1 on this list, with 3,830 blocks in just 1,238 games. His ability to block the ball so well allowed him to average 3.1 blocks per game for his career. He averaged at least 2 blocks for 15 of his 18 seasons and led the league in blocks thrice. While Dikembe Mutombo was pretty close to those numbers, he retired with 3,289. Out of all active players, no one's even close to the 3,000 mark, let alone Hakeem's record. Dwight's 13th on the list with 2,238, but no other current players are even in the top 20. Coming up at number 7, we have the highest blocks per game per-game average. Only 3 players in NBA history have been able to average over 3 blocks per game for their careers: Hakeem Olajuwon, Manute Bol, and Mark Eaton. Eaton tops that list as he averaged 3.5 blocks during his career that lasted 11 seasons. He was on a whole other level when it came to shot blocking, as he recorded 3,064 of them in just 875 games. Out of the active players in the NBA, Miles Turner and Anthony Davis are on the top of the list as they block 2.3 shots per game for their careers, but that's nothing compared to Eaton's monumental number. Following up, we have the most assists at number 6. John Stockton ranks first on the all-time assist ladder with a staggering 15,806 assists in 1,504 games, giving him a career average of 10.5 assists. The legendary combo of Stockton and Karl Malone was a sight for sore eyes, as almost every pass from John to Karl ended with a bucket being scored. LeBron and Chris Paul are the only 2 active players who've made it past the 10,000 assist mark, but they're both nearing their 40s and most certainly won't be racking up over 5,000 assists before retirement. Next up, we have the most steals at number 5. Stockton himself is at the top of another list, as he has the most steals of all time with 3,265. Not only was he dishing tons of dimes, but he was stealing the ball a lot as well, making him an elite point guard for years. He had 5 consecutive seasons with 200 steals and 13 straight seasons with more than 100 of them. Moving on, at number 4 we have the most three-point field goals. Number 1 on this list, none other than Steph Curry. Curry's the greatest three-point shooter in NBA history, so it's no surprise that he stands tall on this ladder with an unbelievable 3,121 threes made. Unlike every other player we've listed so far, Steph's still active, so he's going to keep adding to his make for at least 4 to 5 more years, making it an untouchable record. Harden and Lillard may be able to make it past 3,000 threes for their career, but they'll never be able to hit as many as Steph has once it's all said and done. Coming up, we have the most playoff points at number 3. LeBron James is first on this list with 7,361 playoff points. That's almost 2,000 points more than what Jordan scored in the playoffs, though it's no surprise that James has scored so many points in the postseason as he's played in 266 games. It's virtually impossible for anyone to break his record because the only current player who's in the top 10 is Kevin Durant with 4,559 points, and he's already 34. Following up, we have the highest scoring average at number 2. This record's held by the man that many call the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. He averaged 30.1 points per game for his entire career, which is just bonkers. He was a 10-time scoring champion thanks to his ability to drop tons of points effortlessly. MJ is likely going to be at the number 1 spot forever unless we get the second coming of Jordan sometime in the future. Finally, we have the most points scored in a single game at number 1. Wilt the Stilt is making another appearance here because he was just that good. His 100-point game is easily one of the craziest records in NBA history, and even though guys have managed to get to 70 and 81 points, no one's come close to 100. We just can't see any player ever breaking this record because it's next to impossible to do that. And that's a wrap for this video. Who do you think could be the third to join Kareem and LeBron? Let us know in the comments below. As always, remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.